Finally, episode 1138 of One Piece has arrived, where we meet Kuma, who is alive and smashes Saturn with a hockey-infused fist. Bonnie reunites with her father in an emotional embrace, but Saturn calls for Egghead to be burned to ashes. Watch until the end to find out if Kizaru changes sides. The episode explodes with action, as Saturn completely loses his mind, shouting at Vegapunk for an explanation of why Bartholomew should be dead. Saturn is utterly perplexed, revealing that just a few days prior, the Revolutionary Army managed to pull off that insane rescue mission and retrieve Kuma's body from Mary Geos. He personally pressed Kuma's self-destruct button. The plan was cold and devastating. Let the revolutionaries take Kuma back to their base and then boom! A devastating blow to the enemy forces from within. The fact that this man becomes more unpleasant with each scene is an achievement in itself. But it didn't work. As Saturn adapts, we show Kuma's perspective. Just before his fist hits the target, his entire tragic life flashes before him. Saturn's cruel ultimatum to live as a slave or die. His father's tears as he explained that Kuma's mother was in a better place. Ginny's radiant happiness after the God Valley escape, immediately followed by the memory of that Den Den Mushy call, saying she was at death's door, praying in her church with baby Bonnie in her arms. All this pain, all this anger, all this love culminates in this moment. And then, in a super epic and glorious strike, Kuma's massive hockey-infused fist completely hits Saturn's face. This old man hasn't felt a hit like that in hundreds of years, and you can see the pure and genuine rage on his face, even as he remains conscious and in the air. Welcome back to reality, old man. The brute force sends him flying through Egghead. His spider legs aren't enough to keep him standing as he breaks the ground and destroys several buildings, causing the entire horizon to start collapsing on him, burying him under hundreds of tons of metal, concrete, and glass debris. The island's marines are completely shocked and disturbed because an ancient slave, a pirate, has just killed one of the 5 elders, the highest authority in the entire world government. And as the debris settles, Kuma simply kneels like Kaepernick, taking a deep breath, having just dealt the greatest imaginable blow in all debates about Admiral Kizaru's power increase in the Yonko. Once Saturn leaves the scene, everyone can move again. The mysterious paralysis disappears. Sanji and Frankie immediately frown and run towards Bonnie, yelling for her to get up, saying they have a chance to reach the upper levels of the island and finally escape. But Vegapunk is frozen, his mind racing. He reveals that the self-destruct switch was never a bomb. Man, he's a genius. He knew a scoundrel like Saturn would exploit a safety switch, so he never built one. What he installed was a shutdown mechanism, a safety device designed to completely shut down all of Kuma's functions. His cybernetics, his programming, everything. This should have left him completely unable to move or take orders. Essentially a vegetative state. But here he is. Vegapunk murmurs to himself that there is no scientific explanation for this, for how Kuma can still move, for how he knew Bonnie was an egghead. He starts formulating a working theory, speculating that this is proof of the true special ability of the Buccaneers, something that goes far beyond their legendary superhuman strength. While Vegapunk ponders this miracle beyond science, Kuma gently bends down to pick up his daughter, who is crying, holding her in his arms and giving her the biggest hug he can. In this moment of peace, all of Kuma's consciousness seems to have been overtaken by a force more powerful than programming, a father's love. After that, the entire battlefield takes a deep breath. Even Kizaru calmly comments that it's all over now. Side Centauru, still tied up, spots his old friend Kuma and can't help but smile. A moment of pure relief. Meanwhile, the Marines are in total panic because Luffy has disappeared. Just before they could put the sea stone cuffs on him, he recovered from the banquet. They hesitate to even report him, and you know this is going to hurt them much later. This is Oda just setting up a classic moment of Goku saving Luffy when things are at their worst. But all this battlefield noise fades away for Bonnie. This is it. In what seems narratively to be the last time they talk, she finally manages to tell her father everything. She puts her hand on his chin, tears in her eyes, and thanks him. She lets him know she saw all of his memories. She knows about his mother, Ginny, and calls her an amazing woman. She knows about the letters he tried to send that were intercepted, and says that just knowing he wrote them made her happy, reaching out to hug her father as tightly as she could. Bonnie is finally at peace. She doesn't care if the world calls Kuma a tyrant. To her, he is kind, the nicest person in the world, and she promises she will never forget that. As this heart-wrenching moment solidifies, the skyscraper-sized pile of debris explodes with a crack. The spider legs hit the ground as Saturn rises again. And my god, he is severely injured. He is missing his left horn and an entire arm, and his iconic cloud beard is soaked in his own blood. He is furious, shouting at Vegapunk, still demanding an explanation, blaming him entirely. Vegapunk, looking completely defeated, admits he is partially responsible, but he says it was both the power of science and the power of love. And this may just be Oda hinting that love is a tangible and powerful force in this world, strong enough to nullify anything. Saturn simply mocks this absurdly sentimental and regrettably human notion, and then he does something that completely changes the game. Black flames erupt from his body, and, to Sanji's absolute shock, Saturn regenerates his severed arm and horn completely in seconds. Man, healing powers like that are exceptionally rare. This just elevated Saturn from a powerful enemy to someone they probably won't be able to kill for good. Enraged, Saturn attempts to pierce the now motionless Kuma with one of his massive legs. Bonnie screams for her father to move, but he can't. And then Sanji's actions soar. Our boy is back. He launches into the air, deflecting the massive leg with a perfect kick, declaring that he won't let Saturn hurt Bonnie again. And that's the opening Frankie needs. He yells that they owe Kuma a huge favor and charges his radical beam. He fires at point-blank range. And we have the most devastating beam of Frankie's entire career, shooting straight through Saturn's abdomen. But it's not that easy. Kizaru, who had been watching, suddenly appears behind Frankie. He realizes how much the Straw Hats have grown and then kicks Frankie away, sending him flying through the ruins of Egghead before he can turn around. Sanji shouts for his friend, but it's too late. But it's an insane feat for Frankie. The list of people who fought against a CP0 agent, an Admiral, a Yonko, and a Gorosei is ridiculously short, and Frankie is now on it. His actions are higher than those from Skypiea at the moment. And as Frankie flies away, the huge hole in Saturn's abdomen is already closing. His regeneration is incredibly fast. Clearly, unless you hit him with a punch on Kuma's level that can destroy a building, nothing else is going to work. Bonnie screams to Vegapunk that her father can't move, and Vegapunk orders Atlas to take Kuma to the rendezvous point. Atlas simply carries Kuma, who looks like a huge child in his arms, which is just the peak of One Piece's size comparison. Chaos on their shoulders and lightning. The evacuation has begun, but they still have to deal with Kizaru and Saturn. The Admiral tries to act confidently, saying it's time to end things, but Vegapunk just stares him dead in the eyes and calls him a sad man, asking if he has no heart if he can endure this for much longer. And that phrase makes sense. Visibly shakes Kizaru. He has to adjust his glasses, closes his eyes for a second, and utters one of the softest and saddest lines possible. I should have brought a pair of sunglasses. He is at his absolute limit. Man, loyalty is running thin. But just when you think things couldn't get worse, when you think we might see Kizaru change sides, Saturn takes it all to the stratosphere with a few magic words. The Buster Call Protocol has been authorized. He orders all Navy ships to aim and reduce Egghead Island to absolute ashes in the name of justice. Man, what Spandam did at Eni's lobby was a total accident. Saturn does this on purpose, purely out of rage. And this is a massive loss for the world government. He came here to protect and acquire Punk Records, the Mother Flame facilities, and the island's technology. Now he is ordering everything to be destroyed, including the Seraphim, S-Bear, S-Hawk, S-Shark, and S-Snake, who are still in the basement. This single order threatens the entire Seraphim project. That's how angry he is with Kuma, Vegapunk, and Luffy. That's it. Is this the Egghead incident? Close, but it seems we are still a major twist away, as if Saturn is going to be truly defeated or Kizaru will make his move. But no matter what happens, an unexpected call is coming. And for Robin, this will be the third time she escapes from one. That must be a world record. But as Luffy once said, the Straw Hats are 100 times stronger now. This will be one of the most incredible confrontations we've ever seen. This is episode 1138. Kuma's hockey fist and Bonnie's tears hit like a tidal wave, but that Buster Call is about to destroy everything. This recap left you shocked? Click like and comment 1139 below to spread it to more One Piece fans so the next one can be released quickly. Subscribe to keep the fire burning.